Other news making headlines today, there are concerns that the national minimum wage of 3,500 rand a month proposed by Nedlac yesterday is too low. It's about 1,000 rand less than what Labour initially demanded. Parties are now taking the proposal to their constituencies for consideration. Meanwhile, Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa says this is a step closer to reaching agreement.
The minimum wage is intended to set a benchmark for employers to pay a living wage. But this proposal has been slammed as too little and does nothing to alleviate the plight of the workers. Deputy President says while discussions are still ongoing, this is a step closer to finding a common ground.
We are now a step closer to finalizing our discussions on the national minimum wage if we finally reach agreement. Now, clearly, all the social partners will have to decide precisely what their take is on these recommendations from the panel of advisors. Just so that there is clarity on this, it is a proposal. It still has to be discussed. It still has to be engaged with. And what, in the typical South African fashion, we are going to want to do is to get the South African public to discuss this matter.
The reason is just to strengthen the collective bargaining. And those who will be earning more than the figure that will be agreed upon after the Committee of Principals have finalized the discussions won't be affected, because we are not going to allow those minimum wages that are being paid based on the collective agreements. So they will remain there.
But different sectors are not pleased. They say it does nothing to deal with the plight of the workers.
What was quite significant about the report was the way that the panel of experts dealt with the myth of massive job losses that could occur. Because there was at one stage a situation that said, if we make the minimum wages 3,500 rand, then there will be job losses of 715,000 jobs.
We reject this as a serious joke, and we call on all the workers in South Africa to reject it as well. It is based on figures that were concocted, but also figures that are based on last year. When the workers made a proposal of 4,500, it was 2 years ago. And business made a counter proposal of 2,700 when the workers said 4,500. If you take into consideration that inflation has moved in the last 2 years by more than 6%, it means the 3,500 is actually the proposal that business wanted. So we must reject it. Any national minimum wage that is going to be below 4,500 will not make any changes.
Nedlac says their decision was reached based on the economic climate in the country.
It's quite striking that that something around 47% of South Africans who do have work, who do sort of go to work every day, earn a wage below 3,500.
Business Chamber Nedlac says it's not enough to combat poverty and inequality, while the ANC has welcomed the proposal but called for a further engagement between stakeholders. SABC News, Johannesburg.